Hello, everybody. It's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and I'm extremely excited to be hosting a brand new interview with Jon Moxley. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just out here doing some media and interviews all morning. This is my final one, so I'm just chilling.
All right, well, let's end it on an awesome high note. Looks like you're actually enjoying the sunshine right now. So, how have things been going over there, especially with everything going on in the world right now? How are you coping?
I got pretty good. I got a good setup. Just chilling out here with we're in Vegas, so we're pretty spread out here in the desert. It's been kicking in the backyard. My wife is currently working on a secret cooking project that I think is going to be a big deal in the future. So I've been sampling all these recipes she's making for me. So I've just been eating a whole bunch of good food and hanging out.
Well, since we're talking about good food, I was wondering if you could share your recipe for your Happy Bowl sandwich.
Oh yeah. See, I'm trying to get this in there. Yeah. So it is. You need a big thick piece of like Texas toast, right?
Okay.
Like a thick piece of bread. Toast that some bitch up, nice and crispy, and then you take a knife and then you cut along the edges and of the piece of bread, and then very carefully scoop out. So you scoop out that part and create like a hole.
So it's like
So
a
you have
like a baby bowl.
yeah, like a square bowl, right?
Okay. I'm
Cut out
following.
a little bit of the goo, but you keep the lid of the bread. And then you need a perfectly over easy fried egg. Then you dump that in there, and then you put the lid back on top. And now I have like a square egg filled piece of bread. And you can throw ham in there, bacon, cheese, whatever you want. Like
Live a little, mix it up.
yeah. That my cooking skills are just like weird stoner recipes like that. Like I also have the chip witch, which is you need Wonder Bread. Can't be any other kind of bread. You need white Wonder Bread.
Okay.
Miracle Whip. Got to be Miracle Whip, not mayo. And Cool Ranch Doritos.
And you just like crack those up and put them inside?
Yeah. Crunch up the Doritos to whatever desired consistency. Cool Ranch Doritos, Miracle Whip, Wonder Bread.
Huh.
Very specifically, got to be those three things though.
Right.
Crunchy, tangy, delicious. No nutritional value whatsoever, but very good.
I was actually speaking with Renee a couple of nights back, and she wanted me to ask you, what do you think of all of the cooking that she's been doing? And, have you been enjoying all of the samplings?
Oh yeah. Well, the best thing. Last night I ate a bunch of pasta shells, so I woke up this morning like burping marinara sauce because I went nuts. But the best thing she made, probably the best thing I've ever put in my mouth, was like a hot honey pizza.
Hot
That was
honey
like
pizza. I've never even heard of
yeah,
that.
it was like a homemade pizza with like ground beef, pineapple, ham, bacon, like a truckload of meat with like a spicy honey, like one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in my life. You wake up the next day feeling like you swallowed a brick, but like
It's
very
worth
good.
it. One thing we do have to dive into is Cagefighter Worlds Collide, the upcoming movie that you are in, which premieres May 16th via Fite TV. So you must just be absolutely thrilled after all the time and effort and all the badass fight scenes that we've seen so far in trailers. You must just be thrilled for it to finally be released soon.
Yeah, and credit to a lot of the people behind the scenes doing editing and so forth like that. It would have been probably released a little later, but with the way the world is right now and everything, I thought it'd be really cool to partner with Fite TV, a service I'm a big fan of, combat sports, pro wrestling, um, to kind of make this an event. Right now, people can't go out to the movie theater. Obviously, you can't go out to a live sporting event. This is kind of a sports themed movie. So the idea was to make it like kind of like have a night out while having a night in. Maybe you watch it in a different room of your house, or you know, cook a nice meal, have some beers. I don't know, maybe put on a nice shirt. Kind of make it kind of appointment event viewing, so you have something
Right.
to look forward to, and everybody will watch it all at the same time. May 16th, the premiere. I haven't even seen it yet myself. I'm waiting to just watch it with the rest of the world when it premieres. And they really cranked it out to finish the film really quickly so that everybody had something to kind of look forward to and enjoy during this weird time. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
That's amazing. I mean, the movie tells the story of an MMA fighter who seems unbeatable until he's put up against a professional wrestler named Randy Stone, whom you happen to play. So were you immediately lured in when you heard the concept and you were like, okay, I need to be a part of this?
Yeah, my name got thrown out there. They're just looking for somebody with some pro wrestling name value, and Christian, who was the executive producer on it, kind of, so they wanted somebody with knowledge of the wrestling industry working on the movie, and I just become available contractually, kind of to do whatever I wanted. So I was kind of a natural fit. So they sent me the script, and I read it. And 5 minutes later, I was like, "Yeah, I can play that for sure." And you know, uh, and just jump right in. It seemed like good timing. It was like maybe the first opportunity that just kind of came my way once that kind of contractually was available. So like it just seemed like good timing, and it's kind of all my interests kind of rolled into one. So it just seemed like it'd be really, really fun to be a part of. And pro wrestling, trading and fight scenes and fight choreography and all that. It just seemed like a really fun thing to be a part of.
And you mentioned the fight scenes and the choreography there, and I feel like a lot of people growing up, I mean, I grew up watching tons of kung fu movies and watching wrestling, so was it kind of cool for you to channel those films that you used to watch as a kid or the fight scenes that you used to mimic, and now you're actually doing them on the big screen? Did that come fairly naturally to you, all the MMA stuff?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when I've done like action movies and stuff in the past, it's like that's the funnest part to me. Like and it came really easy as a pro wrestler. I mean, obviously that's kind of like my wheelhouse. I remember the first movie I ever did, a movie called Lockdown, and we on one of the days, the whole point of the day was just a fight rehearsal to like learn all this whole big fight, whatever it was. And so me and another actor or two are there, and it's like first you punch the guy, then you duck the punch, then you kick him in the nuts, then you throw him over the table, then you stab him with a fork, whatever it was.
Right.
And for me, I picked it up in like 30 seconds because that's kind of what I do. I'm like, yeah, you throw him over the table, kick him in the balls. I get it. But like the other actors, it took them like all day to figure this out. And I was like, man, like you almost think like more pro wrestlers would get into like fight choreography and stunts and stuff like that because it just seems like it's the perfect marriage. But
It's
to
very
me, it was just
similar.
so much fun, just like shooting guns and shooting bad guys and stuff, and cops and robbers. It's like doesn't even feel like work. The fight scenes in this movie are tried to make them really realistic because obviously it's an MMA movie. My co-star in the movie, Alex, who plays the main character, the hero of the film, he's a legitimate professional fighter, and now kind of branching into acting, and this is one of his first big opportunities. So, in putting the fight together with like fight coordinator and Alex and me, it was kind of a cool creative mix of like his legitimate knowledge of like how stuff really works in an MMA cage combined with kind of my forte is telling stories and creating drama and so forth like that. It's really fun to kind of put all the creative minds together and see what we come up with. Like, okay, the bad guy's going to be winning for a little bit here, then the good guy's going to come back up, and then you can throw a big uppercut, and then I can duck it, whatever, like big suplex, just kind of throwing out creative ideas and creating the two big fights in the movie, trying to make them as realistic as possible. And it was really fun.
When I was watching the trailer, because of course, just like yourself, I've yet to see the movie. I'm waiting until May 16th to watch it on Fight. But I couldn't help but notice in the trailer how your character, Randy, has the same swagger you bring to the ring. He even rocks a very similar camel leather jacket. So would you say that there are a decent amount of similarities between yourself and the character, and that's why you could adapt to it fairly easily? Or would you say that you guys are actually fairly different for people who have yet to watch the film?
No, very, very, very similar. I think that's why it just seemed like such a good opportunity. To be honest, the acting part of this was pretty easy. I mean, he's a pro wrestler, he's a jerk, so like that was really easy for me to. And they let me ad lib so many of the lines that I was just out there on a verbal roll, just insulting my opponent and saying whatever ridiculous thing came to my mind. But it's kind of a combination of like the over the top carnival barker, full of himself, kind of Muhammad Ali-esque kind of pro wrestler verbal thing. The point is you want to be so hateable that you want to see him get his clock clean by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The other part of it was when I was reading it is the character has kind of a bristliness, like a prickliness to him, kind of unapproachable, kind of a cold kind of quality to him that maybe in my younger years or when I was a kid or, in maybe I think I'm a beautiful person, but I've been told at times, I can come off if I'm in a bad mood, unapproachable or a bit prickly at times in my, not so good times. So that was an easy thing for me to kind of portray. And so it's kind of a combination of being that kind of chip on your shoulder, mean kind of guy.
Got something to prove.
With being, kind of over the top, selling the fight, kind of Muhammad Ali kind of thing. It's kind of a combination of those two things.
Well, being AEW champion, you're normally traveling every week defending the title, and this movie actually brought your travels to Canada, a country you're no stranger to being in, especially with your wife being from here. So I was curious, being a Torontonian, are there any specific places that you normally look forward to visiting or checking out while you're here, whether that be restaurants or things you like doing whenever you come up north?
Yeah, I love Canada, man. I love the people. I love the places. I love everything about Canada. It's Toronto has become, well, I've been from Toronto. Toronto's kind of become a bit of a second home for me. Her family up there. We spent a good chunk of last summer up in Canada. Just stayed up there and spent a lot of time in Toronto. What's the best place in Toronto? What's the place we like to go? What's the places we like to go in Toronto? Trinity, Bellwood. Yeah. What's that one bar? What's the bar with Lipstick and Dynamite?
Okay, yep. In there.
Lipstick and Dynamite on Queen Street. What's the place where they have the drive-through window in the bar? It's there's this bar.
That's not a bell for me.
It's like a famous bar. Yeah. But it's next door to an A&W burger place, and they have like a window where you can order a burger and they like shove it through to the bar.
Well, the Horseshoe Tavern, which is a club, has a very similar thing, but they do that with burritos now. It used to be burgers, I believe, though, but similar concepts, I guess.
Yeah, I know the Horseshoe. Yeah. I love it up there. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get all these places mixed up. Rico Coliseum there was one of my favorite places to wrestle. The crowd's always good there. I had a really big match with Triple H. That was one of my favorite matches that I had in WWE. That was a really special night. I always look forward to the shows at Rico Coliseum. Something about it is just very it's got that old school wrestling vibe to it, and the fans obviously in Toronto, Canadian wrestling fans are so passionate and crazy. It's a great town to wrestle in. I'm very much looking forward to the point. I don't know when, not revealing anything. I don't know, but when we can bring AEW to up to Canada, up to, I think Toronto would probably be a great first stop. When we can bring hopefully AEW to Ricoh Coliseum or American, what's the Canadian Air Center, yeah, but I look forward to when we can bring AEW up to Toronto because, it's kind of a second home for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And just one last thing that I was curious about.
Tim Hortons.
Timmy Hose, that's the bomb.
When we were filming in Saskatchewan, they treat you pretty good in a movie set. They're like, always people are like, well, what can we get you for lunch? What do you want sushi? Do you want this? We'll pick up whatever for you. But when I'm in Canada, first thing I do is go to Tim Hortons, always.
I can't blame you. It's definitely a treasure. It's a Canadian treasure.
We don't have them down here, so like it's a novelty for me to be able to go to Tim Hortons. So every day on the set, they're like, "What do you want for lunch?" I'm like, "You know what I want, babe." They're like, "You want Tim Hortons again?" I'm like, "You know it. Bring me Tim Hortons." They were amazed that all I wanted was Tim Hortons. They're like, "We'll bring you anything you want." I'm like, "I want a breakfast sandwich and a coffee and a Timbit."
I was gonna ask, is it more so for the coffee or the Timbits? Because I feel like the Timbits is where it's at.
The combo, it's the whole thing.
since we're speaking about traveling, obviously a huge part of wrestling is that, and traveling with your fellow roster. So I was curious if you could have one of those drives that most people have been through if you happen to be in this industry, those long car rides, but with any three celebrities, wrestlers, musicians, who do you think would make for an awesome ride?
Well, that's interesting. Man, I've had so many long drives across Canada. One of the coolest road experiences one time, I was with Roman Reigns and R-Truth, and we were driving from like Calgary to Edmonton or Regina or something like that. We were out in like Western Canada when like the Northern Lights were showing.
Wow.
And we like stopped on the highway in the middle of nowhere, no cars around, nothing but just nothing in sight. And we like stopped the car on the side of the road, and we all were like pissing on the side of the road. And we looked up and we
Taking
could
in the
see,
view.
like, yeah, we could just all three see perfectly the Northern Lights while we're all just pissed on the side of the road. I was like, well, what a cool job. Like, what a cool way to make a living. Get to see all kinds of stuff like that. Or there was like green light. It was really cool. Who would be in my car? Was the question.
Yes, if it could be anyone from musicians to wrestlers, celebrities, anybody.
Okay, we'll put Mitch Hedberg in the car. We need a good wheelman. So I'll put R-Truth in the car because he's the best late night wheelman. Can do 4 things at once and drive the car with his foot.
Impressive.
You know, safely driven me to many towns when I was all beat up over the years. And then we need somebody in case we get in any kind of trouble or rabble rousing on our travels, and if we have a problem at the Horseshoe Tavern, we need an enforcer. So I'll say Chuck Liddell, who I got to spend a bunch of time with on the set, just shooting the breeze with, and he's like, I'm such a fan of his, and he's such a cool dude. And so we'd have him in the car in case we got in any trouble with any rowdy Canadians, at the Horseshoe. So Mitch Hedberg, R-Truth, and Chuck Liddell, and me, just in a car, just seeing the sights, just up and down the highway, blazing a trail. That's a hell of a time.
Absolutely. Well, I really do want to say thank you so much for your time today. I really am very excited that I was finally able to get you on. So thank you so much.
No, much appreciated. Anytime.
Absolutely. Everybody, don't forget to check out Cagefighter. That is going to be released May 16th via Fite TV. Again, this has been the awesome Jon Moxley. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.